I'm with the Olympics.
Hey, utter a few syllables.
60.
Oh, 60. That's just before you came.
Anything you want, the greatest.
I've never.
Are there?
Yeah, you guys being over here. Do you see more people wandering around? Because I had a buddy I was supposed to meet over by the office.
Well, you know, they just had,
I don't know how
they
he
just
got
had that
lost.
little blurb in the paper a week or so ago.
Well, I'm on the board of directors of the association, so that's the thing. But you told us about it 2 months ago, and I just didn't write it in my book. But luckily, I was here last week, and John, you're going to be there next, the day. And I was getting all about it. And then, of course, I see the email, and I got on the board. Woke up a bunch of
We had that little thing in the paper. I just have to
I try to get a couple of copies. Money's always once the paperwork goes through, over that hill, school one over there. At 30 Mesa, that was my first. Well, I should have
There should have been, even when you were going to school.
well,
I'd rather we spend the
Digital.
Hey,
These are my wide angles right here.
do you know any people that do like tile work and stuff?
Yeah,
Mike does, I know
I
that.
got a whole list at the house, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Why, what do you need?
Well, when we're moving in, we just bought a house. We're going to be moving in here at the end of the month, and
Matter of fact, I got to call the guy. He's got to come over to regrout my tile. And then I got a list. I got a contractor's list.
okay.
set out like when I started going up the hill, and I run up there and run back and chase the ball. No, I kicked the ball.
He said that again,
I knew not to hit the brakes. But I had to test them for both of the corner outfielders that I was running. They kicked the ball first to me, and I got to get probably 900 pounds.
6'8",
Someone's
300.
going to get killed out there.
Oh yeah, they keep trying.
Hey, say hi to Bert. I'm going to show this to him. I'm going to show this to Bert. All right.
Right there. Number 3. Last thing. Mine was at my house.
Did they get the picture back yet? We miss you, Tom. Come on back. Go, Robbins.
How you doing? All right.
Oh, I thought you said so fast.
Remember him being a little heavy, I thought.
What's happening, Joe?
Nothing. How are you been?
I've been fine.
How's everything? Good. How are you, Joe Radovich?
Mike George.
Brad.
Hi, Mike. How are you? Yeah,
There you were.
How are you doing? Good.
Sorry to hear about death in the family.
Yeah, I know. It's just, God, it's hell.
Read that in the paper. Just like Tom Barnett.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
Tom never gets old.
Hey, it beats the alternative.
Yeah, no kidding.
What you just witnessed was a presentation from the Kearney High School Junior ROTC Drum Corps. My name is Josh Neal, and I'm the new varsity baseball coach here at Kearney. I want to take a quick minute to let everyone know that we are holding a silent auction right next to the bleachers to help support the Kearney High School baseball. We have a few items on the table. Autographed bat by Pete Rose, an autographed 2001 World Series ball signed by Randy Johnson. We have some plaques with the 1984 World Series champion Detroit Tigers, which I'm sure Mr. Trammell would be happy to sign. Getting that plaque bugged me, honestly, because 1984 World Series champ Detroit Tigers, there was a certain 13-year-old boy that was devastated for about 6 months after you beat my beloved Padres. But anyway, I'd like to welcome everyone again to Alan Trammell Day here at Kearney High School, and also honoring Brian Giles, Mr. Jack Taylor, Jack Doherty, and Gary Bear. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our Vice Principal, Ms. Sharon Mendenhall.
Thank you very much. On behalf of the administration at Kearney, I'd like to welcome all of you and thank all of you for coming, parents, students, staff, and many, many friends of Kearney High School. We feel very fortunate to have all of you here today and to be taking part in this ceremony. I'd especially like to welcome back to their old baseball field Alan Trammell, Jack Doherty, Brian Giles, and Gary Baer. So please enjoy yourself, and I'll turn the program back over to Josh.
Other than Mr. Alan Trammell's name, there will be another name you'll hear a lot today, and that is the late, great baseball coach here at Kearney High School, Mr. Jack Taylor. I do want to share something real quick. Is something special that I witnessed is when I first approached Alan about this ceremony. He told me it would be an honor, but only if I kept Jack Taylor's name on the title of this field in some way. And I thought to myself, wow, I mean, this coach must have been a special guy. And I'm only starting my high school varsity baseball coaching career. But if I could have that effect on one of my ball players somewhere along the line, it would make me feel really good. Every one of these guys up here today played for Coach Taylor, and I think he meant a lot to each one of them in some way or another. And that's the reason I felt it was important to put his name and number up first along the left field line, and then put his players after him in numerical order. We tried to get one of Jack's sons here today to accept his certificate on his behalf, but we'll make sure that they get it. And each of our honorees today are getting a plaque. It says Kearney High School, Comets Baseball, retiring number 12 in honor of Jack Taylor, January 10th, 2003, the field dedication at San Diego, California. At this time, I would like to welcome Mr. Brad Griffith, who will say a few words about our first honoree, Gary Baer, class of 1970.
Thank you, Coach. I want to thank you, Gary, and everybody else who invited me here today. It's really a great honor to come out and see all you ex-Comets. I think I showed up here in about 1969. Come out here as a JV football coach, JV baseball coach. But I want to tell you something, I'm still mad at Alan Trammell. Okay, you say, how can I be mad at him? Coach Barnett, Coach Wadsworth, and myself, we couldn't ever get him out for football. It just goes to show you how smart he was, because he's probably still got 2 good knees today. He was a lot smarter than the rest of us. But I'm out here today to introduce Gary Baer. Gary was a player back in Kearney. He graduated in 1970. I first come into contact with Gary when I was coaching JV baseball. He wasn't getting much pitching time with the varsity. He was a junior. He came down to the JV and he excelled with us. But you know, the one thing I can always remember about Gary, he was one of those guys, he had great determination, just like all these people out here. You look out here on the field on a weekend, you probably saw Alan Trammell getting ground balls, Gary Baer running, doing something. And then as I stand here and I look at Mr. Giles there, I remember having him in a summer school PE class. And if you told me that he was going to be in the bigs, I would have dropped dead. But I'm glad for you, Brian. I don't know if you remember me, but I can still remember you. And you got to remember, I have about 300 different kids I go through every year, but I remember you. But anyhow, Gary, he went on from Kearney High School, graduated, like I said, in 1970, went on to Mesa College in 1971 and 72. And there's a story there for some of you young kids, okay? He didn't have scholarship offers when he left Kearney High School. Nobody wanted to give him that 4-year ride. Nobody wanted to invest a lot of money with him in college at that time. But he went to junior college, he got a second chance. And a lot of you kids think going to a junior college is a put down. Kids, it's a second chance. That's that opportunity to get that 4-year or that college scholarship. From being very successful at Mesa College, he went on to Long Beach State. Had a very successful career at Long Beach State. After Long Beach State, he was drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers in the 5th round, played with the Milwaukee Brewers, played in the Phillies organization, the Padre organization, played in the Mexican leagues, and even played some winter ball in Venezuela. I don't think he wants to be down there playing today. But anyhow, he's been in the game for a long time. Okay, he's now a teacher at Abraxas High School in Poway. He's been there for 10 years, and he is currently the varsity baseball coach at San Pasqual High School. But you know something? I want to say to Gary, I enjoyed being your coach. I hope I did something in my lifetime to influence you, to make you want to motivate yourself, because you had a lot of self-motivation. You wanted to be successful. You became a successful person, not only as a coach, as a player, but you're successful in life. You got a couple of young kids, good-looking kids, and I know living in Poway, and Gary lives in Poway, that he contributes a lot to that community. Gary, so it's my pleasure, I guess, to congratulate you on being a Hall of Famer here at Kearney High School, and I'm just glad that I had a little bit of something to do with your life, and hopefully it won't be the last, okay?
First of all, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank Josh Neal and Kearney High School for bringing me out here, and especially to honor some of the people that were instrumental in helping I had a modicum of success in the big leagues, but I'll tell you what, the lessons in life, the 9 years that I played pro ball, were some of the best times of my life. First of all, I'd like to say this opportunity, it's very nice to meet Alan. The joke among my friends was that when Alan made it to the big leagues, they took my picture off the wall and hung his picture on the nail that mine used to hang on. I took that abuse for a long time, but you know, after a while it was an honor for him to use my nail. Brad Griffin, my JV coach, he toughened me up. When I came over here across the freeway, I grew up in Serra Mesa. I came over kind of a spoon-fed kid. I came over here, and I'll tell you what, it was a real eye-opener. When you were going to play sports here, you were going to be aggressive. You were going to put 110% into it, and if you didn't, you wouldn't last over here. But Brad taught me that baseball was always supposed to be fun. One of the stories that I can tell you about Brad and his coaching style was I was getting hammered one day. And when the wind was blowing right, you see those bungalows out there. A guy launched the ball over one of those bungalows. I was a little bit dejected. I came in. Brad said, "Hey, kid, you're throwing the ball hard." And I said, "Oh, thanks, Brad." He says, "You had to be throwing the ball hard for that guy to hit the ball that far." The next person is Jack Taylor, and I don't go by a day without thinking of Jack. Jack was one of the biggest parts of my baseball success and also my teaching success. He started off by cutting me. I came out, he gave me a second chance as far as a pitcher. He kept me on the team. Didn't play a lot as a junior. I didn't play a lot as a sophomore. Played a lot as a junior. Made it to the varsity my senior year. He wasn't done though. And that's what I found out coaching's not about. It's not just about coaching the kid at high school. I mean, if being a coach, you want to make a difference in a kid's life. He helped me at Mesa College. He helped me at Long Beach State. He kept in touch and helped me out in pro ball. To this day, I can't thank Jack Taylor enough. I wish he was here right now. I can still remember a story about Jack. I was pitching a game here. I turned around to see it throw to second base on a stealing attempt. The ball hit me in the back of the head. The ball bounced out over here. There used to be a gate without the shipping container. Went down to the canyon, off the back of my head. I can remember Jack's first move was out here to see if I was okay. The second one was he wanted to make sure the guy only got one base because it was from the mound. I'd also like to thank, and you couldn't go by without thanking a mom. You can't go by without thanking your wife because she already told me I could. They taught me about passion and love. How else could you describe people that would sit through a doubleheader when you're only pitching 1 or 2 innings? How could you describe people that would come out in the fall and sit out there